Welcome to DeFi Crypto today. Our topic today is delta neutral leverage farming on Alpha Romara on Avalanche. So it's part 4 of our delta neutral leverage farming strategy series. We're going to recap and then we're going to explain the strategy in greater detail. I'm trying to illustrate it a different way because it seems to be confusing for a lot of people. So we're going to use the exact same amounts that we're going to use in today's strategy. And in every episode, I use essentially $400, okay, that we split, and we end up with a pseudo delta neutral strategy. So we're using the same amounts in every episode, so to make it less confusing, okay. And hopefully you can learn how to do your own delta neutral leverage farming strategies. So very quickly, if I can get here. All right. The strategy basically is that you take a long position. A long position is you're buying the asset. And you take a short position, that means you're selling the asset at the same time. Okay? And what that does is that when the asset fluctuates, if it goes up in value, the long position goes up, but the short position goes down by the same amount. So it becomes zero. So that's what they call it delta neutral. Delta is a variation in price. Okay. So we're trying to minimize the effect of price movements in your portfolio so that you don't have to worry too much if the price is going up or down. You still have to watch your position. It's not 100% perfect. That's why pseudo, not perfect delta neutral. So that you avoid getting liquidated because you are borrowing. Okay, you're borrowing. And if the price of the token goes way off, you could have a liquidation. So we're trying to minimize that risk, but there's always a risk. Okay, we're mitigating the risk. That's what we're doing. Because we could just take a long position, okay, or just a short position if we wanted to. Okay, let's say we're bullish on token X, can do a leverage long position, but if the token tanks, then we get liquidated. So, and the opposite is true. If we just take a short position and the token shoots up, we're going to get liquidated. So here, we don't, you take these delta neutral strategies when you're not excessively bullish or excessively bearish on a token. You say, I don't really care the fluctuations as long as they stay within a certain range. Because what you want to do is collect the juicy APY. That's the yield that you're getting, your yield farming. And because you're using leverage, you can multiply that yield. That's the whole point. So if they're giving you, let's say, 50% APY, and you go 3x, well, you could get up to 150%. And then you have to deduct the lending APY and so on. So it's you never get exactly 3 times the APY, but you're getting you get significantly more than just depositing the token at 1x. Okay, that's the point. That's the point. And those rates change. So for those that are still not clear about this is the crypto world. This is not your grandma's bank. Okay, rates change every single second. Okay, make sure that's clear. If you deposit some funds in yield farming, and today it's at, I don't know, 120%. Well, maybe tomorrow is going to be 60%. Maybe tomorrow is going to be 10%. Maybe tomorrow is going to be 1%. I don't know. Okay, it's going to change according to supply and demand because it's a free market. The only free market in existence anywhere on earth in the history of mankind is the crypto market. Okay, remember that. There's never been a free market before. This is the real deal. Okay, so if people, if there's a lot of supply and demand action, okay, that makes the prices and the rates fluctuate. Okay, when there's more demand for something, typically it goes up. When there's less demand, it tanks. That's what it is. This part here is not true anymore. I made a mistake on this one. There is still impermanent loss on LP pair, even if you take a delta neutral strategy. It's somewhat mitigated, but it's not totally gone. You would have to do another thing. It's called gamma, whatever. Too complicated for us right now. Okay, too complicated for me right now. So forget this part. That's not true. I made a mistake. All right. So this is what you need to remember. Now we're going to explain that. I made these lovely charts. Okay, it's two charts. This is the long chart, and we have the short chart. So let's start with the long one. Let's make it bigger so we can see what we're talking about. We're gonna go slowly in detail. If you know this stuff already, just skip ahead to the actual strategy on Alpha Homura, which we're going to use today. But if you need clarification, we're going to clarify everything here right now. Pseudo delta neutral strategies with leverage yield farming. What's that about? We're doing a 3x leverage. 3x leverage means you deposit $100 and you borrow 200. So total now you have $300. So it's 3x. It's that simple. That's all it means. So right now, instead of depositing only $100 in the yield farm and earning whatever the APY is, you're going to deposit 3 times as much because you're borrowing 2. Okay? 2 times the amount that you deposited. So total, it's 3. That's why it's 3x. Now, today we're going to use the DAI AVAX liquidity pool. Why? It's got the best rate at the moment. But that might change. Maybe tomorrow it's going to the rate's going to tank. I don't know. Okay, that's life. Okay. All right. So part 1, we're taking long AVAX position. That means we're borrowing DAI. We're not borrowing AVAX on the long. We're borrowing DAI. DAI is the stable coin. AVAX is not stable. So typically, in most delta neutral strategies, we play with one stable coin versus a not stable coin. Okay? Why? Because it's too much headache to have 2 tokens that fluctuate at the same, in various ways. They're going to fluctuate constantly, and you're going to have to monitor your position very, very seriously. So this one you have to monitor, but it's a little bit less stressful. Okay, so these are the steps. It's not complicated. We provide $100 of DAI. We borrow $200 of DAI, and we deposit $300 of DAI in the DAI AVAX liquidity pool. Now, a liquidity pool, okay, what does it do? It's a thing that you use to swap tokens. So you're swapping AVAX for DAI. So you've got some DAI in your wallet and you want to buy some AVAX. Okay, well, you have to go to a DEX like Trader Joe, a decentralized exchange. That's what DEX means. Okay, and you're gonna say, okay, I've got $100 of DAI, and I want to buy some AVAX with that. So Trader Joe's got a zillion pools, including one that has DAI AVAX, and it's going to allow you to swap at the current market price. And it's charging you a fee, a swap fee. That swap fee is collected and given to people that deposit into that pool, which we're going to do today. We're depositing in that pool. And to reward us, they're giving us swap fees. And Alpha Homura sometimes give us a reward on top or whatever. So, all right. Now, here's where the magic happens. It's within the liquidity pool. Okay? The pool, every time you make you deposit in the pool is programmed to do this automatically. You deposit $300 of DAI, and it says, okay, that's not good. It has to be balanced because this is a DAI AVAX pool. Okay? It's not a DAI pool only. So what it does is that it takes the 300, it splits it in 2. Half of it is going to be DAI, the other half is going to be AVAX. And they have to stay equal all the time in terms of value. Okay, the price of the AVAX can go up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, that's fine. But if the price of AVAX goes up, the pool will sell some AVAX and buy more die to rebalance. Okay, and if the price of AVAX tanks, what it's going to do, it's going to sell some die and buy some AVAX so that you're back to 50% of the value of the pair. Okay, so it keeps moving, buying and selling on each side. It has to stay balanced. Okay, it has to stay balanced. That's its purpose. That's what it's doing all day long. Okay, so the pool automatically splits the $300 of die that we deposited. Okay, and it's going to give us $150 worth of die and $150 worth of AVAX. So what is it doing? It's buying $150 of AVAX. That's your long position. We're buying $150 of AVAX. Okay? We're not doing it directly. We're doing it through the pool. The pool does it for us. Okay? So we're buying long $150 worth of AVAX. That's what it says here at 3B. All this is done in one. You just deposit and that's it. You don't have to worry about splitting. It takes care of it. Okay, that's done for you. So to illustrate this, pretty pictures. Okay, you got $100 bill. So you're providing $100 worth of die. Alpha Omura allows you to borrow 2 times more. So you get, this is your 1x that you're depositing, your 2x that you borrow, and your 3x that you borrow. So total, you have 3x, $300 that you're going to use and deposit in the liquidity pool. And this is what we see inside the liquidity pool. We have 150, that's a $50 bill, that's a $100 bill. In America, if you're not in America, that's what American bills look like. Now you have $150 worth of die and you have $150 worth of AVAC. And the pool is going to always try to maintain it. It's going to always try to maintain the value equal on each side. If AVAX doubles in value, you're going to make some gain. Okay, it's going to be worth more than $300 at some point. Even though it's going to rebalance and sell some AVAC, get more die. But if AVAX goes up a lot, we're going to get our investment in that pool is going to grow in value. And the opposite is true. If AVAX tanks completely, we're going to have less than $300 in that pool. But each side is going to be equal in value. So the long position is usually the easiest one to understand because the amounts, pretty straightforward. Now the short position is a little bit more complicated, so there's a lot more graphs. So let's make this bigger so we can see what we're talking about. So we're using the same pool, so it's 3x again, but you'll notice that we have to deposit a lot more die this time. Let's go here. So this time we're providing $300 worth of die right here, 300. And we're going to borrow, because we're doing 3x, right? We're borrowing $600 worth of AVAX, not die this time. So we're borrowing AVAX because we're doing a short AVAX position. So we start by borrowing $600 worth of AVAX. And now we have $300 plus $600. So we see them here. Okay, this is our 1x, 2x, 3x. So we have 300 and we borrow 600. So total is 900. And that's why it's 3x. It's 3 times our original 300. So we take that all this money and we're going to deposit that in the AVAX liquidity pool. What does the pool do? It automatically splits the $900 into $450 worth of die and $450 worth of AVAX, because that's what pools do. As I explained earlier, the pool always went 50-50. So whatever amount you deposit in the pool, it's going to split it in two equal parts. Okay? Each part will have the same value. Okay? Now, so what is actually happening to us, though? Why does this make a short position? You notice that we borrowed $600 of AVAX, but now we only have $400 of AVAX. What did it do? It took $150 worth of AVAX here, and it sold them to buy some dye, to make it $450 worth of dye. Because we only provided a 300, it's missing 150. So it sold some of our AVAX and bought some dye with it. And that creates our short position of $150 worth of dye. AVAX. So let's look at the liquidity pool. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So this is the liquidity pool. Okay, it looks very much like on the long position, right? Except that there's more money. There's 3 times more money. So we have dye and we have AVAX, and they're balanced, and the pool is happy. Okay. Now, what did we actually do with our AVAX? Okay. So we borrowed 600. We used 450 to put in the pool here. And we went short $150 and to buy that dye here so that it's balanced. This is how you create your short position, okay? Short means selling, okay? And to achieve this with liquidity pools, we have to borrow AVAX first, deposit it in the pool, and the pool automatically creates this short because it sold this 150 to buy some dye to balance the pool. So I hope the little pictures like this, it's easier to understand. I know it's a difficult concept. It's a difficult concept. It took me a while to figure it out myself. Okay, because I mean they don't teach this except if you go and get an MBA in finance or something, you know, or if you're lucky enough to have a mentor who's a trader on options and whatnot. Okay. But for regular folks, you know, that can be a little bit difficult. All right. So, of course, if you're new at this, always use small amounts. Try your hand on small amounts. That's why I'm only using $400. I'm not using my entire portfolio on this. Okay. I'm doing this for illustration purposes, but even for myself, because I'm not the you know the short the pseudo delta neutral king of the world. Okay, I'm learning as I go as well, like most of us. Okay, so be prudent. You could get liquidated because you are borrowing, and if the market goes against you, you can lose some money. Although with the delta neutral strategy, we mitigate the risk, we reduce the risk a lot, but still we have to be careful. All right, so hopefully that's clear. By the way, the 2 charts are available for paid members. If you want to see this stuff in detail, you want to study it and everything, you can. They posted in the community page of the YouTube channel, and I posted them also inside the members only Discord channel. But to access that, you need to pay. So it's cheap, okay? It's not that expensive. It takes time to make these charts. I spent hours doing this stuff. So anyway. So if you want to encourage the channel, okay, so you want me to make more beautiful charts and more interesting videos, please become a member. Yeah, we have very affordable rates. All right. So you join as a member, okay, and you get access to these charts that I make from time to time. You get the free book, you get everything. Okay, it's all included in your package. All right. Okay, so let's do it. Let's go and do the Alpha Homora. Now, We did talk about Alpha Homora, just the yield farming. We didn't do the delta neutral last time, but I asked people if they wanted me to do delta neutral, and there was quite a few people that said yes, yes, please, let's do delta neutral. So we're going to do it. As a recap, this project has been fully audited. It still doesn't mean it's 100% safe, especially because we're going to do leverage, so there's a lot of risk, okay? And as I said many times before, the rates that are advertised here are not fixed. They change every second. Sometimes you're working on something and then you see the rates change. Boom, okay? But you're getting a higher yield because you're using leverage, okay? So you could go on Trader Joe here and do the AVAX USDT pair, but you'd get 51%. Here you could get up to 168%. Now you have a yield farming, you have trading fees, and you have to deduct the borrowing APY. Okay, so make sure you understand all this stuff before you do your positions. So now we want DAI because I looked at it earlier and DAI had the best rates. We have 178% here. So let's farm that. We're going to supply some DAI. We're going to do it exactly like in the charts. We're going to put 400 bucks here. The DAI is about $1, so 400 should do. We don't have LP tokens, so we forget about that. We just have DAI. We go next. Now we wanted 3x, so we're going to just write 3 here. And buy some AVAX, and we're going to have some DAI in there as well. Okay, so these are the amounts that it's going to borrow. Okay, so yeah, it makes sense. So we're going to have 200 DAI and 5.65 AVAX, so let's go next. Okay, so total supply 400, total debt 200 of that, 600 of that. So the way they put the numbers is a bit different, but I think we're going to end up with the same delta neutral strategy that we're supposed to get. Let's confirm the strategy and then we'll see the numbers. It's the first time I do the delta on this one. So let's check. What I find a little bit annoying is that you can do delta neutral on several protocols, but the way they display the numbers is different. So it can be confusing. It can be confusing. And they like to try to confuse me, so we have to refresh. It doesn't know it's done yet. Okay, the position value is correct. So we got 3 times the amount. Okay. Because we started with 400, now it's at 1200, so that's correct. Debt ratio 92%. APY 124%. Reward, I don't know. So technically it should be correct. They're just not displaying it very well, are they? Yeah, so you have to do, as I said in the previous video, you have to plan it ahead. You do your calculations first, and then you use the protocol. Because some protocols display the information very easily for us to understand. What's our long position, what's our short position, and it shows the same amounts. What we know here is that we borrowed the right amount, okay, and our total position value is correct. So we did the math correctly. It should be all right. Okay, that's what that means. Because it's doing the 2 positions at the same time. It's doing the short and the long position together. Okay, if we wanted to, we could have done it separately, but I'd rather do it all in one shot, save on time, gas, and headaches. So it should be all right. Now you have to watch your position because as you can see here, we're in the orange. So a 3x is fairly risky. Okay, so if the price of AVAX tanks considerably or shoots up too fast, we could get liquidated and we could lose some money. And again, I'm going to repeat myself, but the APY will change. Okay, You notice we're not getting the same maximum APY because we are borrowing money, so we have to pay back some interest as well. So we end up with 120% APY. So it's still a very good rate. It's still a very good rate. All right, so the actual operation is not that difficult. It's to understand what we're doing that takes time. So for those that want to study the charts, okay, they're going to be available for paid members. So again, please consider joining. Okay, you'll get the nice charts. And also, I want to make this point clear. We get hundreds and hundreds of questions in the comments, and because I spend a lot of time making videos and I have another job too, it's not easy for me to reply to all the questions that are in YouTube because it's difficult to if I answer and then you answer back and then you have another question, YouTube does not help me find your messages. Okay, it's not easy to search in there. If you have a lot of technical questions and you become a member, you can go on Discord and I'll answer you there. You can DM me in Discord. You can, if it's private. If it's not private, you can submit your questions in the open channels, and either I or the other members will answer you. Okay, you can discuss your ideas, your strategies. You have questions about new protocols, whatever. I answer everybody in there. Okay, and other people will answer you too. So there's a sense of community, and because it's a private Discord, the advantage is you're not gonna get spammers in there. But spammers usually don't pay memberships. So that was one thing I really wanted to avoid because we're getting zillions of spammers and scammers in the comments on YouTube. Every day I spend hours deleting and flagging them. And I wanted to avoid that, and that's why we created the private Discord channel. So if you're interested, click the join button on the screen and choose the 3 levels. You choose the level you want, okay, and then you have access to membership only privileges, including the Discord channel and the charts that I make from time to time. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Download the free book. It's free. All you have to do is put your name, your email address, and hit the submit button. And then you get a big fat button that says download the free book. And if you miss that button, well, you're going to get an email that says download the free book. And if you don't want a free book, you go to Amazon, you give $5.99 to Jeff Bezos, and then Jeff will send you a whole $1. See you.